Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and while you're at it, click the bell to be notified of future videos. Today's block is called Diamond Ring. It's 12-inch finished. Here is the diagram. Here are 4 blocks set block to block, and it's a nice secondary design. And here is a quilt's layout, about 4 by 5. 4 blocks across and 5 down. Patch A is a 1.5-inch finished square. We cut 2-inch squares, and we'll need 8 patches of the accent fabric. All of the AccuQuilt dies for these patches are listed right here. Patch B is a 1.5-inch by 3-inch finished rectangle. We cut 3.5 inches by 2-inch rectangles, and we'll need 8 patches of the background. Patch C is a 1.5-inch finished half-square triangle. We cut 2 3/8-inch squares, cut them in half once diagonally for 2 patches. Now this is the sky portion of the flying geese, and there are 4 flying geese, and it's also in this corner unit. There are 2 in each corner unit. So you'll need patches for the corner units and either patches or squares for the flying geese. If we use the method of 4 flying geese at a time, you'll need 4 squares plus 8 patches of this patch C. Patch D is a 3-inch finished quarter square triangle. We cut 4 1/4-inch squares and cut them in half twice on the diagonal for 4 patches. Now this is the geese part of the flying geese. So you'll need 4 patches if you're doing patches, or 1 square if you're making flying geese 4 at a time. Patch E is a 3-inch finished half-square triangle. You'll cut 3 7/8-inch squares, cut them in half once diagonally for 2 patches. And you'll need 4 patches of the accent fabric. This is the large triangle here in the corner units. And finally, patch F is a 3-inch finished square. We cut a 3.5-inch square, and we'll need 4 patches of the background and 1 patch of the accent fabric. And these are the large squares in the center of the block. I've started adding the fabric you need for 1 block. And for the background, you'll need about 1/4 yard. That's probably an overestimation. And for the accent fabric, you'll need 1/8 yard. And that's probably an overestimation too. The instructions for piecing are on page 2. Here are my fabrics. On page 2 are the instructions. This side shows the corner units, and this side shows the side units. We'll piece the corner units first. This is what the corner unit looks like when it's finished. I'm going to lay it out like this. So we'll piece 4 of these first, and then we'll piece the side units. Step 1 in the corner units are to piece this part. We'll take a C patch and stitch it like this. These are the lines to line up. So you flip this over, match the bottom and the side, and stitch 1/4 inch this way. Press your seams open. After you do that, this will go next, and this is the side you want to line up. You're making a big triangle. Flip this over, match this side, and stitch your 1/4 inch. Then press your seams open. Do that for all 4 of your A patches. You'll have 4 units. When you stitch your first triangle to the square, you'll have this nub, and I cut it off even with this other edge. Cut it off even with this edge here. When you stitch your second triangle, you'll want to have your stitches come out right here at this angle. And that's what makes it straight right across here. Press your seams open like that. Then this little nub, you'll have to cut that off. and you'll have this. Now you have a big triangle. Take your patch E and sew it together like this. Flip this over, and you'll want to match all 3 sides as close as you can. So let's flip this over again, because we want to stitch on this side. Because as you're going to start stitching here, and as you come down, you want to stitch right here above that point so you won't cut the points off. And then continue stitching 1/4 of an inch all the way down and press your seams open. Here is the first part of it finished. Seams are pressed open and the points are pretty. Then just cut off these nubs on the 2 opposite corners. Now we are on step 2 of the corner units. And look at this diagram to see the correct placement of this unit. It goes like this, and we'll take a B patch and sew it like this. Then we'll also take an A patch and a B patch and sew them together like this. Press your seams open. You'll have 4 of these and 4 of these. Then we'll sew them together like this and press your seams open. You'll have 4 of these corner units. Now our 4 corner units are done. We'll put those to the side, and next we'll do the side units, and we'll start with our flying geese. We're going to make flying geese 4 at a time, and you use your D patch and your C squares. If you're not familiar with the 4 at a time method to make flying geese, stay tuned for a short tutorial to show you how. For flying geese 4 at a time, you need 1 large square and 4 small squares. The large square is the geese part of the flying geese, and the small squares are the sky part of the flying geese. On the back of each of the small squares, draw a diagonal line. Place 2 of the small squares like this on the large square, right sides together. You line up these edges and make sure these lines line up. Then you're going to stitch 1/4 of an inch on both sides of that drawn line. Here are the 2 stitching lines on either side of the marked line, and now we cut it in half on the marked line. Now you'll open these up and press your seams open on both sides. Cut off the nubs. Now you'll place another square in this corner. Here's your diagonal line, and stitch on either side of the diagonal line. And do that for both of these. When you're stitching, your stitches should come out or start right at this point, this intersection here, this 90-degree angle. Cut this in half on the diagonal line, and you have these 2. Press your seams open and cut off your nubs, and do the same for this one. 4 flying geese. Our flying geese units are done. We'll take the background F squares and piece a flying geese unit at the top like this. Press your seams open. Then you'll have 4 side units. All of our units are finished. Now we just lay out the block. And there you have your diamond ring. Sew the top units into row 1, then row 2, then row 3. Press the seams open and then sew the rows together. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and while you're at it, click the bell to be notified of future videos.